Persuasive Opinions. Today's episode, we're going to be kicking the shit out of some Norse god mythology. I am just as jacked as Kratos. I just don't look
hide under all that fat.
Yeah.
I just put this fat on not to intimidate people.
So today we're going to be reviewing the most recent God of War.
Confusing.
I like how they did that. You wouldn't get confused.
Yeah, it's like, who needs continuity?
Yeah.
But we'll start off with introducing ourselves. To my far left,
CountryBoy, the one and only.
I've got to be a macho man. I've got to be a macho man because I'm LewisLightning.
and I'm not really as jacked as Kratos.
What? Don't say that.
I know.
Don't say that.
I know. But I am MussKeg. And before we get going, we want to do our shots. What do we got here?
Pumpkin rum.
Yeah,
This is
a
a pumpkin spice
spice
rum.
Captain Morgan's.
We go.
I'm not a pumpkin guy at
That's
all.
better than the apple. Actually.
It is actually better than your apple one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so today we've all played it. It was some people's game of the year in our.
Yeah, we know
This is
this.
some influential people's game of the year.
This game came out months ago, but we've all played it. We've all finished it, and
It takes
all
time.
loved it.
It's a huge fucking game.
So I mean, we can get into nitty gritty details of specific things we like. What about it did you love? What was the overarching?
Where do you
thing?
start, man? You see-
I'll just say, like, it was a fresh take on something that I was already familiar with.
oh man.
I know CountryBoy and I have been into the God of War series from the get-go. Like, when I saw that first trailer for the first God of War, I was like, I'm buying this.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I saw the new God of War before coming out, I was like, this isn't much the same. Can they make this interesting still?
Man, I was skeptical.
They turned it around because if I had any idea that the series was starting to lose steam, they said, hey, you know what? We're changing the fucking gameplay, changing the setting, and it was amazing.
I mean, the biggest change, they changed the setting, but let's be real. The biggest change of the whole game was changing it to a third-person Naughty Dog ripoff.
I was actually going to say
Naughty Dog ripoff of the viewpoint.
Yeah, it's sort of the same viewpoint.
And I say Naughty Dog ripoff because the viewpoint, and they always have the white dots.
Similar to Arkham games as well too. It's behind the.
When you said Naughty Dog, I was thinking more like the story. Like, it was very more gritty and real than. Well, I shouldn't say real, but more gritty.
I know
like
the first
that.
ones were pretty
Because
gruesome.
like Naughty
good.
Dog, The Last of Us, the first one, you had a kid with you the whole time,
Yeah.
and it's about like kind of raising this kid.
It is.
Which was.
Oh my gosh, this is.
But it was. I love that for that reason. I don't know what. Anything else you want to add?
Like I know we said we were skeptical a little bit going in because it looked so different from what the other God of Wars were. I mean, we love those games so much, right? It's like they're changing it too much, or we're a little skeptical. It's like we love this for what it was.
Your weapon was an axe, right? It was a.
And that wasn't even one of the things I was worried about. I was like, it was the viewpoint, and it was the whole fact that you had this kid with you the whole time.
And you weren't moving as fast either. You kind of like slowly.
Yeah, exactly. You can't even jump, really. And this is actual jumping point, right?
It wasn't as button mashy, right?
Yes, there was definitely a lot more strategy to your fighting. More strategy to your fighting.
Oh, especially the Valkyries. That was complete strategy,
man.
Oh, I had to learn every Valkyrie differently.
I didn't actually finish the Valkyrie. I didn't do the last one.
Oh, you didn't get the
because what happened was I finished the game and I'm like, well, I'm not going to keep playing, you know.
So you finished all of them but the last one.
But the last one.
Oh, okay.
But I spent forever on the Muspelheim one because I didn't really get the strategy of avoiding her. Like, she would do that thing that felt like it had a reach of forever when she would smash on the ground.
That one pissed me off.
I asked
so
you
much
for some tips, and then I was like, okay, that helped.
I didn't realize that, like, just like shooting an arrow at her quickly would like stab her before she does that thing.
Making sure it was the same one.
That would always get me. I mean, what the fuck? And like half my life would drain. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I was so pissed off. And then it's like, I just shoot some arrows and then she'll like
They're
stab her.
easily the most challenging part about the game, probably.
Yeah, you had to learn definitely those Valkyries.
Before we get into specific things, I mean, let's talk. We talked about the 3D view. The next biggest thing, obviously, being the setting that they changed it to,
Norse.
Getting away from Greek mythology. Norse.
That is something I was excited about.
I was excited, but I was nervous because I didn't know a lot about Norse mythology, and I knew Thor, knew Odin, knew Loki. That's it.
And like I remember like growing up, like junior high, I loved Greek mythology. Probably number one. Norse mythology was always like right there, right next to it, and I was going. It was almost like a right across, like just parallel.
You know what did it for me on the mythology for Norse was wasn't the people, which is what Greek mythology was. It was the characters, the gods, everything like that. What did it for me in this one that I really enjoyed was the worlds, right?
Okay.
The fact that there was a land hidden of giants in Jotunheim, you know, it very cool.
And I really liked, now that you brought that up, the different worlds, that main room that you had, and how that all worked, and slid.
Yeah.
But it also was a little bit of disappointment that you're like, well, I know there's all these other realms.
4 other realms or whatever.
Yeah,
That's one thing that I
is that DLC?
I mean, we can talk about the things we didn't like. One thing that was challenging, though, and I don't want to get into that yet, but I just want to mention before I forget, one thing I had a hard time with this game is there's a lot of things I'd see, and I'd spend forever trying to get into it.
Yeah.
When really you just have to wait further in the game.
Upgrade.
Yeah, you don't have
and you know, there's that challenge
upgrades,
of, I don't want to go too far in the game and then miss being able to do this, or I'll forget about it.
I would
those specifically, those like where the Valkyrie were, or those mirrors.
Yeah, I know I can get in there.
Found all those hidden doors. Yeah.
So that was one thing. But anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, once I realized that, you have to like progress through the story, then you can go back to certain places because you would learn new things.
Very visually cool though. That
Staying on the mythology, I think at least CountryBoy and I knew that at this point they were jumping to a different world. Like it wasn't going to be more Greek stuff.
Yeah. Well, I knew that too. I mean, when it was, I wasn't shocked.
But I think it was just like, where were they going? And like, I think the big thing was the possibility of like Egyptian mythology, which I was excited for. I was never really worried. I was just like, am I going to enjoy this mythology?
What I really love is that they didn't like not mention his past. They definitely acknowledged it quite a bit, and it's like in the back of his head, he doesn't want to bring it up because it's like just a terrible thing in his mind. He doesn't want to bring it up to his kid because it's just a horrible time that happened to him.
I just have a question for you guys, because you guys being more purists, I came in the God of War thing late. One of the things that I thought was the best thing for it, I thought might have been controversial for you guys, was the recasting of the voice actor who played Kratos.
You know what? I didn't really
I've been
notice.
playing the older God of Wars that you let me. I can't stand the way the guy plays him. You bow before me. I thought, you know.
Okay.
That's why I think the old God of Wars, it works with that guy because he's more one note. That character, he's like always yelling, he's always mad, he's angry, always wants vengeance. That character works. Whereas you needed someone that has more range.
And that was exactly the
An
point.
actual actor, not just a voice actor.
That was exactly the point I was going to go on to when you mentioned about how he has that history. He doesn't really bring up a whole lot. But that shaped his character so much for this one, how he doesn't really like the gods and stuff.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, how in the first game, that other voice actor, he's always so angry. And to me, that's like the original series, he is in the moment of being fucking pissed off. And he's complete rage. Whereas in this, the rebooted
Does
one,
a lot of.
he realized what he did, and he's kind of he's hesitant on his actions. He's like,
well, because a lot of times his boy, his Atreus,
it,
will question him on these things, and he's got to explain, like, well,
he takes a step back and says,
maybe I shouldn't have done this, or maybe there's a reason why I did that.
The gods aren't good. And all
exactly, he has reason, but he's got to like watch what he says too, because
it's
he
what
is
he did.
like a young teenager.
You guys talk about Atreus quite a bit, but actually, to be honest, the character that was really good with him was who's the name of the head that he carried?
Mimir.
Yeah, Mimir.
Mimir. It just goes to show when you have a character like this, who's sorry.
No.
If you have a character, so this is John's idea. I'm just bringing it.
No.
When you
glad you brought it up.
When you have a character that is this one notish, and he was one note in this, not as much as the other ones, but this one he's more the reserved, like tortured soul.
Yeah.
Right? All I'm trying to get at is when you have a character that's not as charismatic, when you can add on somebody.
Yeah.
And even Atreus wasn't really good as far as charisma, but Mimir added so much more. His stories when you're going across.
Yes.
Oh, I love those.
Like how many times did you guys keep rowing?
He would stop at
I would get there.
Right at the shore, you're like, I don't want to get out of the boat.
But even if you did, when you got back in, he's like, as I was saying.
Yes, I love that. Was so great. That was brilliant.
It's like little things, right? That
absolutely
you noticed.
Because all of his stories he's just such a great storyteller.
Yeah.
You know? Even if the story wasn't that great, it was just a great story, just the way he was telling it.
Yeah. And I think the director of this game, Cory Barlog? Barlog. I think he understood like a lot of this stuff. Like he actually sat down and said, if we're in a story, in the middle of a story on this thing, and we get out, people probably invested in that. We shouldn't just stop it. We should make some kind of formula where they can come back to it when they want. As he's watching interviews with him, he seems like a really like a chess player type thinker, where he's thinking like 2 moves ahead. He was really, I love that, and I'm excited for the next one.
Fun fact is he directed the second God of War game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's one of the better ones.
The first God of War was David Jaffe, and he worked on that game as well too.
Also great.
Yeah, but then he left, I think, part way through the second one, and Cory Barlog took over, and he was the director for the second.
Who did 3 in Ascension? Just to get that out of the way.
3 was bald dude.
Kratos. It's fine if you don't remember.
Yeah, no.
It's not, none of those 2 was all.
No, it wasn't. 3 was a different dude. He's a good too, but I forget what his name is.
I was gonna say
no. Is it maybe Stig Asmussen? Maybe
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's.
What I was gonna say.
Start with a name.
It felt like those those 2 guys are great creators, and like you can feel their fingerprints in that work they did. But.
And what Cory Barlog, he really took a lot of stuff from home to this game.
I watched the interview too.
He talked about how Atreus is basically like his kid. Like he took the idea of like his kid asking him questions and him becoming a dad, and how you kind of got to word things and you got to be very careful, and it's like you care about this person more than anybody else in the world too. Like it is, it's life changing. That's what his goal was in this game, is to kind of make you feel for Kratos and Atreus at the same time.
Talking about favorite moments, I know my favorite moment was when he discovers the Blades of Chaos.
Fuck, you stole that.
Which I thought was
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That game came out a while ago. Yeah, when he finds
you didn't even know what was happening. As soon as Atreus was like almost dead, and I'm going, and it's like a slow, methodical way back to the gypsy lady. You don't know her name yet, I don't think, at that point. Freya, that's what she was, yeah. And then she's like, we're gonna need something that can fight the ice or whatever it was. I was like, oh!
See, I didn't get that.
I knew exactly what it was gonna be.
That's why it was my favorite.
I never thought the Flames of Chaos had a heat behind them. Blades of Chaos.
Well, there was always like a flame whenever he swings them.
Well, I just thought it was like fucking like watching hockey where they put a blue streak on the puck. It's not actually on the puck, and they just did it so you could see it.
If it was anything other than the Blades of Chaos, I would have been so pissed off, and this game would not be my game of the year. That moment is one of the best moments in gaming history. I don't care who you are.
That's why I picked it.
It was the build-up. It was the build-up to it, and then the reveal that you were right, and I was like, yeah! The Blades of Chaos themselves weren't as great as the Leviathan apps, though. Yeah, they used to be better in the other games. But
still, you definitely had to switch. Speaking of, remember the Valkyrie fight with Musan, you had to switch between those quite a lot.
The Valkyrie fights they did.
Yes. Because they had different powers, right? Each one. So it was really handy doing that, just balancing.
You know what? My favorite moment, probably like right at the end of the game, because it answers the one question that's ticking in your head.
Where's Thor?
No, where's Loki?
Oh.
Yeah, that too.
When that came into your head, I won't say anymore.
Yeah, I lost it. It's lost its. It didn't have as big of an impact.
I'm not gonna spoil it for people who might not have gotten to it.
I should put a spackle on the wall.
Spoilers are the worst. Yeah, we would never spoil it.
They can take a gaming moment that you've been looking forward to your whole life, and then just have it crushed.
Because like the way my ceiling is.
Yeah, John ruined it for me. He basically told me the entire story.
But I
told him one of the biggest spoilers of the game.
I didn't bring that up to bring this up.
Yes, you did.
I brought it up because really, like the whole time I was like, well,
Craig, I give you permission to spoil
the Red Dead?
I was gonna say, I give you the permission to spoil the biggest spoiler of Red Dead.
I was always thinking like,
Loki, I give you permission.
Loki's in charge of Ragnarok and killing Baldur sets it all off. Like, how does this all work? And then they put that in there. I'm like, okay.
I mean,
I don't think it was 100%. Well, Atreus being him, because he never really saw that mischievous side.
Yeah, he didn't really see
the
that.
The god of lies didn't lie or
But I loved when he realized he was a god. He's like, can I turn to animals? Can I turn to a wolf? It's like, that's totally a Loki thing.
And I think that's one of the most in-depth moments where, because Kratos tells him, like, yes, you are God. Do you have any questions? Or something like that. And, like, Kratos is waiting to give some kind of big philosophical thing to try and shape the kid's mind.
Yeah.
And his first thing is, like, such a childlike thing. Can I turn into an animal?
Like, what powers do I have? Thing.
What?
He's like, exactly.
So great.
He's taking the bad by his question.
There were some moments, I'd say one of my favorite things, though, it wasn't as big of a shock, was when, it's kind of twofold, was when you first saw giants. So when you first saw
the frozen
the first giant you see is actually the world serpent, And I didn't even think about that. And I was like,
Yes, it was.
that's not a giant. Giants would look like humans. But then when I saw the giant,
dead one,
the dead one in
chiseled through his head.
Where was that? What was that?
I forget what area it's called.
It was named after him.
It's frozen.
It was Midgard, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all
straight up.
Midgard.
Yeah, just straight north.
I thought that was really cool looking. And honestly, I was waiting for somebody that big to show up in the game, like alive, that you had to fight.
You do see it not truly alive, but at the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cheat though. Why they did it.
And speaking of which, well, I mean, let's before we forget, because we won't forget to do this. Let's talk about our biggest disappointment. Unless you had something.
Did you? I thought you had a moment.
I literally.
I
was gonna say I literally only have one disappointment, and that is it.
I think we're probably all going to agree
Is
on
the lack
that.
of huge, bombastic fight moments, right?
Yeah, I kept waiting for it. I kept waiting. I'm like, Thor's coming. Thor's coming. Here comes Thor. Here comes Thor. And
he does kind of somewhat come.
Yeah.
If dreams count, premonitions count.
I don't know if it's a dream. It said like years later, and then.
But then he wakes up though, and he says, "I just thought some."
But let me tell you this. Before we play this game, I come up and say, oh, by the way, you don't actually fight Thor at all. You don't even really see Thor. You would be like, fuck.
Kinda, yeah.
Actually, to be honest,
you don't even
we say
meet
the lack of big boss fights, whatever. That's one thing. Well, but Thor was the real one that was missing in the end for me.
Even Odin.
I was expecting that.
Odin, yeah.
But as far as boss fights
now
go,
the next God of War is going to be fucking awesome because you're going to get Thor and Odin.
And the thing is, Cory Barlog knows exactly what he's doing for the second.
Yeah.
He's already said, like, I know, I have it mapped out.
Nothing seems by accident with him.
Exactly.
But I was gonna, when you brought up Thor and Odin and whatever, the boss fights, there was the giant dragon.
That was like the biggest one, I thought. It was a big mistake.
Well, I would have said, aside from obviously Baldur.
Baldur, or it was the stranger.
Well, there was the two brothers.
The two brothers, that's what I was going to get
That's
to.
right, yeah.
What were their names again?
Some of them.
One I knew, one I didn't know. The big one I'd heard of before.
Thor's sons.
Mori and Magni. Magni and Magni.
Okay.
And I actually liked that. I mean, I didn't like how...
I love that fight.
I thought they were Baldur's sons.
No,
Thor's.
Yeah, I love that fight.
I like the atmosphere of that fight. You're back to back, and you're like looking into the fog, waiting for
anything. Come in.
I do like more if you're able to move around and do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But the way they set it up was fantastic.
What about the RPG elements? I thought that was actually well done. They simplified it. They said you're either looking for a character who can hit hard, a character who's defensive, or a character who can use their powers most often.
And I'm not an RPG guy, but they did it, balanced it so well, and
It looked cool.
They made it so. I loved upgrading my armor or my weapon, or actually adding on to my moveset.
I like that you had to choose too, right? You had to choose what.
That was great. In the old God of Wars, it was simple. It's like, okay, upgrade this thing, and it just goes. There's a meter, and boom, it's upgraded.
I know you probably knew this, but did you know about the whole you can make the Infinity Gauntlet?
I had heard of it. I didn't really go into it because
I didn't complete it, but I did 2 or 3 gems.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My whole thing was once I got into a track of this is how I want to build my character, I never strayed from that.
I found out that the best way to go is cooldown. Actually, what most
cooldown?
Yeah, so that you could use your abilities a lot faster.
Yeah, that's a good one. I did have that one.
See, I watched you playing on Twitch.
You just watched me play the final Queen Valkyrie.
I went back though and watched some of the ones that they kept on your archive for a bit, and how you would take some of the Valkyries down. You relied so much on switching out between your axe up. I almost never left my axe. I was just I'm taking out this thing, bitch. And
I totally would.
I actually relied.
Because they both had different powers too, so I would like to use both powers.
Mine was mostly timing.
And they would regenerate as you're using the other weapon too. So I thought that was cool.
Mine was basically 100% mashing arrows at them. As
really?
I spent a lot of time tumbling and rolling and arrows.
Which arrow? Which Atreus thing?
The lightning one, the most.
Lightning one, eh?
I like the bird one.
I think the bird one's what I use.
I thought you meant arrow, because there's the arrow.
Which of his powers?
I used the
animals
what were they again? I think the bird one's the one I used.
I think it was
the most.
ravens or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I think that was the one I used the most because it did the most damage, I believe.
I think it did, yeah.
I don't know if it was the most damage.
Did you get the one with the squirrel?
Yeah.
I
never used. I don't think
I used every single one of them because I wasn't sure what trophies there might be.
Yeah.
But what about your favorite axe and chain move? Because my favorite axe one was the one where these are hard to think about now.
I know it's been months since I played
this axe one. I remember I had one where he just it was kind of like a your charged attack, but he would actually the camera would zoom in and
But I don't think that was. I think I was just using the sword, the axe.
Well,
I don't think it was one of the.
I think one of the axe ones.
One of them was because it was the ice.
The axe one, I think, like he hit the ground a few times.
3 times.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was it. That was it.
And then it would stun the enemy.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And then I could hit him again.
Yeah,
too.
that was.
Yeah, sorry,
I
that
like
was
stunning
one.
them. That was like
I
my
didn't
big
use the
thing, stunning
shield
them.
as much as I.
Me too. I always
I
forgot
did.
to like hit him with the.
Only in the
Yeah.
Valkyries because there were specific moments in the Valkyries where you were trying
Yes, because you had to like. That's
Otherwise,
the only
no.
way you could like not get hit.
And
Exactly.
as far as the flaming blades, there was one where
Oh,
you
yeah, I
like
couldn't
blades of
remember.
chaos. There was the one where you like jump and you do the big swing.
I think
down
mine was
and-
called the Rings of Helios, and he would just jump up and spin around, just do multiple hits.
I think I did one where it was like a slash like this, and it would like be like a big blast, almost like a shotgun blast.
Yeah. Oh no, I like the one where you jump and you would just do the. It was basically the 2 chains and you do a massive hit on them.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I was gonna say characters outside of Atreus and
I know what
and
you're gonna
Kratos.
say.
And Mimir.
No, I just see what you guys.
The
want.
guys,
I'm not gonna say anything.
all the armor dudes, the brothers,
The dwarves, yeah,
the dwarves.
they were
hilarious.
They were hilarious. Yeah,
Which dwarves
because
did
they
you like
hated
more?
each other.
Sindel or
Brock.
Brock and
I like the blue
Sindri.
one. The
Sindri, yeah, Brock and
blue
Sindri.
was the one that I like.
Yeah, he was the first one you met, and he was more the asshole.
Yeah.
Sindri was like the
Sindri's
dainty
like,
one,
ew,
yeah,
I don't
it's
want germaphobe. Ew,
It was almost they're almost
I
like
did
the
like-
odd couple,
I
right?
did like the where you had to
The
get
Odd
the 3
Couple.
dragons. That was
Yes,
fun actually too.
Yeah.
Some
That
of
was cool.
Stuff,
Like, the side quests. Like,
Yeah.
This game was packed.
I liked finding when you'd find a picture of where a treasure was hidden.
Yes.
You had to find that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like they did the callback to the captain from the very first God of War.
Yeah.
And let's be.
It's like the captain's key or whatever it was. You had to find.
I know one thing that was really cool. It's a little subtle thing. When he blows the horn to get the world servant's attention, I thought that was so cool. Just imagine how deep and the sheer scale of that horn and talking to the where you'd have to register to get to them and
I thought you were talking about the water level.
Yeah,
how it moves.
Oh yeah,
that
opened up a whole new area.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Water Temple all over.
I just thought it was just brilliant how they did that.
let's
Like,
be
the
fair.
water level would drop.
Midgard was just amazing. Actually, now that we think about it, one of my favorite sequences in the game was in Hell, though.
Yeah.
When you're on the boat flying.
When you're coming back and you got like the visions of like Zeus.
Yeah, but you got like you're on a flying boat basically.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I like just in Hell, just seeing that owl or bird thing that was across. I never got close to it, but just seeing
it
it.
wasn't like a giant raven or something.
Maybe.
And
Wasn't
I mean,
it?
they were usually pretty easy, but the troll fights were always fun too. You know,
Yeah,
at the end when you'd jump up and slam the big.
I would love when I would like jump on like an ogre or whatever, and then you could like control it, take out guys, no problem. That's the first thing I would do in a fight. If there was were they trolls? I can't remember.
The trolls were the big ones. You're thinking of the ogres though that you controlled.
The ogres
The trolls were the big main.
Sorry, yeah, then the ogres, the ogres. And you could jump on. That's the first thing I would do. If there was a fight, and if there was an ogre, jump on his back,
wear him
hit
down
him,
so you can get on.
jump on his back, and just destroy everybody else.
Here's the one thing I hated. I hated fighting the dark elves. Those were you always had to use like the light and. I didn't like fighting the dark elves.
Yeah, they were kind of annoying.
Yeah, there was some annoying.
You're talking about like the settings and stuff. I think one of my favorite things when you got to Jotunheim, and again, right at the end of the game, obviously, but like you climb that mountain and you don't realize it until you get to the top and you're like looking at the peak and you look down and like these mountains you're on.
Yeah, those are
bodies.
Giants.
Yeah. There's giant bodies. And I was
exactly.
Like zooming in.
That's the scale I expected God of War.
Yeah, exactly. It's too bad like most of the giants are dead, right? In this,
I will say, Midgard was beautiful. Like,
everyone was beautiful.
It was a visual game of the year for me, for sure. Yeah.
I wish I had a 4K PS4 because my TV's 4K, and like Josh is playing this on his, and he's just talking about how it's just it's beautiful. Like, just the detail. It's just that much more. I did
expect a little bit more from the other worlds. Maybe Hell was the only one I felt was fleshed out enough, but I felt like 70% of this game is Midgard. You went to Alfheim, the Light Elves, Dark Elves place, and I was just like...
You didn't spend much time there,
Not much time.
Yeah.
Hell, you didn't do a whole lot, but I felt you spent
more time there. It was cool,
there.
the whole sequence when you find Jotunheim, too, and you have to flip the
world, or the whole thing.
The gate world.
Yeah,
gate room.
That was cool.
I mean...
Mimir was like against it completely.
Oh my god. But you know we could go forever on this.
Tyr. They kept bringing up Tyr. Anyways,
Tyr is one of the god of like justice and everything.
Yeah, it's the one that
he's the one who worked with the.
He was a good god. He worked with the giants.
Yeah, he was.
Why don't we maybe? I don't know, just
Give it a number.
we can do it. Yeah. Oh man.
9.7. Done. 9.7. That's what I'm
You said
giving it.
9.8 in the last video we did.
I said there was 3 things I took off.
I know, but the last video you did say 9.8.
Well, I meant 9.7 because
Yeah,
I took
yeah,
off
say-
0.3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't a review.
I'll
John.
give it a. I'll
Okay.
give
Well, I
it.
thought we were doing reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
Today we are.
Yeah.
Last episode.
I'll give it a
Okay.
9.7 as well.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, actually. 9.6. I was really disappointed with the lack.
Disappointed.
Ooh, I want
I just really
It's gonna be the
disappointed with the
same.
lack of the big fights.
Yeah.
That's.
That is my literally my one tick off.
And that's
It's a 9.9 for me because
Yeah.
it is, like I said before, it's my game of this console generation,
Yeah.
game of the year. It's
Like,
just fucking.
I said it before in our previous video that how lack of big fights is a thing, but it was like if I hadn't played God of War and I didn't expect this, I would not be
True.
disappointed at all.
That's kind of
why
what it
it's
is.
a 0.1.
Yeah, it's exactly.
And the only other thing I
what it
took
is.
off was just the fact that I spent a lot of time wasted trying to do something that you could do later. I hate
little bit
that
more
when you don't know.
I did that a few times, but then once I realized that the story kind of progresses and gives me things,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, I know that glowing red thing.
Just
I don't
remember
have
it for
anything that
later.
can do anything with that,
Yeah.
so I might as well just
Yeah.
not touch that.
Anyways, it's an awesome game.
Game of the
Amazing
year.
game of the year for 2 of us.
Well, you know, the fact of the matter is I haven't completed Red Dead, so maybe if
I
you
know.
go by, you have
Yeah.
to complete a game to do it. But I'm just, the only reason it's not my game of the year, Red Dead got the online portion that I'm really excited for, so
Yeah,
that's all.
for sure.
Anyways, where can we find y'all?
Twitch, Twitter, PSN as CountryBoy_9.
Twitch is the LewisLightning. Xbox is LewisLightning1.
And you can find me on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on PSN, all under MussKeg.
You can always find him following Funhouse.
Oh yeah, that too. He's always watching that. Athena!
Boy.
Anyways, that's what I was saying.
It's over.